Okay, cleaning the coop today, and I'm going to talk about chicken manure composting. But first, the fact that I'm out here and I don't have snacks for them is really freaking them out, so I'm going to grab them some scraps from the kitchen. Okay. So a really big part of the composting system that we have is that we take our kitchen scraps and we feed them to the chickens. We do want to be composting our food, but the main thing that we're composting here is chicken manure. It's a very nitrogen-rich material that's going to compost down really nicely, and when we put it in the vegetable garden, we're going to get beautiful vegetables and they're going to be fertilized very, very well. But the kitchen scraps is what we send into the chickens themselves. Now, what we really do is we put our compost in a pile here, and that's where I'm going to throw the actual chicken manure. I'm going to see if the snow shovel is a more efficient way of moving this around, because we don't have a wheelbarrow. Now, you don't need chicken manure to make compost. You can just compost your kitchen scraps, but it's important to have like a mixture of nitrogen and carbon and in the correct ratios, and it's gonna need to get hot. And I have a whole video about what we did to get this started and what you could do if you wanted to start a compost, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about our two piles here. So this is like our fresh pile that we are just starting now. It is mostly pine shavings and chicken manure, and this one is one that we started when we first moved in. There was compost that was already here that was really green, and we've added chicken manure and lots of leaves and lots of kitchen scraps to it. And actually when we closed it up, this was full, but it got so hot and composted on its own that you can see it is a lot lower than it used to be before we had just started it. So this is really exciting. It got really, really hot, and we got about 30 centimeters of snow, and none of the snow stayed on it because it was really hot when it fell. It's not hot now, it's cold. But I think it's because it is done composting for the most part. So that's really exciting. We'll take that out and sift that in the spring, and we'll use it for our vegetable garden, and we're making a second compost pile here. But yeah, I feel like this one is successful. I'm pretty excited. It has to get to a certain heat for it to actually compost, but Dominic spent a lot of time turning it over. Again, we had another video about it, but yeah, that's pretty much it for our composting system. We have kitchen scraps and leaves and carbon from the property and a lot of chicken manure. And so it's pretty simple. Dominic would turn it every week before he closed it up and just left it to cook. And now we're gonna leave it over the winter, and hopefully, we might have to turn it a few times in the spring, but hopefully it's gonna be ready for when we go to plant gardens. It's pretty easy. I don't think too much about it. I think there's a lot of science behind composting. People get really into it. We did buy a thermometer, so once we get another hot pile, that'll be fun. But we didn't have a thermometer or anything. We just could tell that it was warm. Anyway, that's it for our compost. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.